What's going on, everyone? So today, this is now episode 4 of the Uncharted podcast. We have a guest today, Don J Live.
Yeah.
You know our host, Elijah and Keon here.
Hello.
So we're gonna kind of switch up things a little bit. I know that in our previous podcast episodes, we kind of went over a little bit more information about the music industry, a little bit more of like how the engineering world kind of works. We actually even reviewed Super Bowl performance and stuff like that. But today, I think we kind of want to dive in a little bit more about like the people in the actual industry. You know, kind of get a better idea of like what their experience is, as a smaller guy here, and as well as just like your overall outlook of it, and kind of like how it's been for you as a whole. You know, so if you want to give a quick introduction to yourself.
Yeah, facts. So my name is Donovan Jackson, stage name Don J Live. Don J, you know what I'm saying, for Donovan, you know what I'm saying, Jackson, last name. The live though, you know, I really kind of pride myself on and it's really a pusher. I want to push myself to do live stuff. Okay. So I kept the live in there.
I always wondered about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I seen a lot of cats named Don J too, and it's like, you know, all right, is it unique? Probably not. Is my flow and my style unique? Yes. Check me out if you have some time. Yeah. But yeah. So I started rapping. Actually started with poetry back in 2012. Okay. And I think from there, my love for music kind of developed. I'm a big Common Sense and Talib Kweli fan, so that was where it started at. And my daddy, when I was younger, he used to play all the joints back in the day.
That's where we always started off.
From like. Common, you know what I'm saying? Common, Talib, even, you know what I'm saying? Lucy Pearl, for those that know what's going on. Raphael Sadiq, you know what I'm saying? Like all them cats, that little era. So a lot of that influenced me to start rapping. And so man.
How did that transition come from like the poetry side of things, right? Because rapping is very, very similar. So like, what was the transition over to that?
It's smooth. It's I think of poetry kind of I don't know, poetry, hip hop, battle rap, like those three things I feel like are kind of glued together a little bit. If you do, and to throw in there spoken word as well, which is
very true.
Kind of like a newer form. Like you see, I don't even know if spoken word was on like the Grammy ballots before, but
it's a thing now.
Now it's a thing.
Really?
They presented a Grammy the other night.
For the Grammys,
that's pretty cool.
So they had the Grammys a couple days ago. Spoken word is actually a category now, like best spoken word piece. But it's like poetry on steroids, because you're taking poetry and then you're turning it into this visual aspect too.
That's
so
very true.
A lot of spoken word is more so emphasis on the words and like setups, almost like battle rap. So for me, it's like, as an articulator of words, I feel like I have a gift in that. Like I hung on to some of those kind of same foundations for spoken word, and it translated from poetry, and it translated into rap. So
that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I honestly, like, we actually have a guy that comes in every now and again to do spoken word. Okay. And he has like his own little he has his own like poetry production company that he's trying to like push forward. And I didn't even know that was like such a big thing now.
Yeah, I never thought either.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like it's another way to like, of course, express yourself in the artistic format. You know what I'm saying? That's really dope.
Facts.
Yeah. That's what's up. All right, dope. So one of the first questions that we want to ask you is, what do you think of many artists wanting? What do you think of like the reason why many artists want to go independent? Like, what do you think is like the main reason behind that?
360 contracts. I mean, if we go, no, I just went.
Deep dive.
No, so I think not to take a historical step, but like when hip hop started to gain traction in the late 80s, 90s, like it was something where people saw it had so much influence, and it was just a lot of like, oh, this person influences this entire crowd. Let's just throw a contract at them. And a lot of the artists didn't know better, and so it was kind of like, all right, this is an opportunity to feed my family, to XYZ, and so let's go ahead and sign this, jump on that, and like, let's see where it takes us, and not knowing and reading the legal side of things. And so when it comes to now an independent artist, like it's so much easier for social media to do your own thing. Some of the influences I have as far as independent artists is for sure, one is Saba out of Chicago. Okay. Man, bro, kind of took off. I know he took off with Chance as well.
Yeah.
And I think that looking at those cats, also too, a lot of my work. Shout out to Lon Renzel Wave, but a lot of my work, I started out with Chicago-based engineer, producer Lon Renzel, and so Chicago, I was able to see kind of some of that talent and that influence of a lot of independent artists, Mick Jenkins as well, where it was like, okay, you can see the independence and you can see the talent. Like, I think that we relate, it's easy to relate, you know what I'm saying, talent with who you sign to, you know? Like, like I feel like the label kind of gives you that backing, that push. But it's like independent artists got it too, and a lot of them got it probably more than some of the talent that's being signed. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand that.
So,
I can definitely understand that.
So with that, I'm down like with anything that's independent driven. You know, even you know, labels that are independent artist driven. Like I feel like really the goal, if you want to, you know, create that solid artistry and music, like I feel like you have to have a balance of the two. I do see good place in being signed to a deal, right? And a deal that kind of sets you up for the next step, right? A deal kind of like what Kendrick, we see what Kendrick's doing, or what he did with TDE. Like TDE, he signed when he was young. You know what I'm saying? He was probably, I want to say he was in his late teens when he signed with TDE, probably early 20s maybe, but TDE, and that carried him to where he is now. For sure. And now he's got his own joint, you know, Baby Keem on there, and it's like he's creating his own thing.
Yeah, he's creating his own pathway now.
And it feels independent artist-y, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can understand that.
And it works. You know, Keem just got a Grammy, bro.
That's true.
And it's like,
that's true.
What?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And so while you got the backing of probably, you know, Interscope and like other, you know, publishing companies and stuff like that, I think that traditional signing to big labels is kind of fading away a little bit. Again, there's still room for it because the people that are in the chairs are still kind of, you know, in control of that stuff. The people that sit behind the Grammy scenes and sit behind the, you know what I'm saying? Like those people are still in control.
The connections, that's part of it, right? Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to fully separate yourself as an independent artist, but I'm seeing more publishing deals, you know, with labels, and labels are opening up that way. You know what I'm saying? They like, all right, okay, we can't sign you for 10 years, 5 albums, but we can do, you know, your publishing for you, you know, whatnot. So
yeah, that's true.
It's pretty dope, man.
That's what's up. No, I definitely agree with that. I think that the navigation towards like independent artistry, I think it's an important thing, because I think that as artists gain more ownership of the music and stuff like that, it starts to make more sense that, you know what I'm saying, you want to start owning more of what you create, you know what I'm saying, and having more control of how you want to do things, stuff like that. And going to people to help you complete what you need to get done, rather than kind of like setting a path for you. You know, so I think that's really important. No, for sure.
And I mean, social media too has just changed the game for everything.
Oh, for sure.
Like I feel like that's the most crucial thing, and we've talked about it here before. It's just like, as sad as it is to say, the industry nowadays is like 70-30. It's like, how well can you do like your brand and online presence and everything? I mean, we've said it before, and there's like so many artists who don't really deserve that spotlight, but do get that spotlight because of their social media presence. And I feel like some of it too, and I feel like with independent artists, there's still that purity to it.
I agree.
And because there's that fire within, because you don't have that big backing. You know? So like, I feel like if artists do the independent way the right way, and they hit every single avenue that they're supposed to with their team behind those closed doors and everything, I feel like they can make a bigger push than some big labels can.
I got a good question for both of you guys then. So do you guys think, because this happens all the time, right? You have like the smaller guys who come into the industry, they sign to a bigger label, they got to change their sound to like acclimate, right? Do you think that people being more independent now kind of allows them to kind of stay within the lane that they want more? Or do you still think that at the end of the day, most artists are still going to try to like assimilate to what's going to sell them more records versus like what makes them them?
That's the golden question, bro. It's I don't know.
That's a hard one, because I feel like as artists and as human beings, like we are habits of like our nature too. And so say if I was a rapper, I can't rap worth anything, and I can't ever get in front of a mic. But
it could be a writer.
Everybody writes. That's why I'm a producer and an engineer. I stick to the computer side.
Say a word, bro. That's a writer. You know? They go on a song. That's writing credits.
But I feel like it definitely it helps the artist, like how I was saying, kind of push them in that sense of having that inner fire, because a lot of artists nowadays too, and we know for a fact, are like clout chasing.
Oh, most definitely.
Like which it's easy to like kind of wean through the ones who, and you can, I know honestly the public can kind of see who's going for it.
Yeah.
But it also gives that personability with the fan base and everything like that. Like whenever you do the independent route, because I feel like your fans get this deeper connection to the artist, if that makes sense, because they feel like they have like a more like a direct path into that artist's like life.
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, that's facts. Yeah, I think it's hard though. I mean, as an independent artist, I find myself a lot of times sitting with, tracks or beats or whatever ideas that I know are mainstream, but I know that aren't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how I want to present my artistry. You know what I'm saying? Necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that honestly. Shout out to Daraj. He's out here. He's a independent artist. He was signed to a few labels.
Okay.
Daraj though, he's been in the sync licensing.
Smart.
Okay.
Smart.
Joint. You know what I'm saying? So he's
so like
putting
TVs and movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been putting artists on, and that's where I want to go. I feel like I'm pigeonholed a little bit because I know that with it, it's just I'm kind of stuck with that. Like, do I make the mainstream sound for it, or can I keep my sound? With it. And
do you ever like find yourself
weird.
battling with your like own subconscious mind of being like, you want to stick to what you want to do, but then like it's creeping up in the back of your head because you're like, oh, this is unfortunately like this is the industry sound right now.
Yeah, so it's definitely a battle. I like you all mentioned, like people definitely hop on the mainstream bus to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, honestly, you know what I'm saying? What's the US debt? Like everybody, like at least everybody got what, 50,000 or something. Honestly, I mean it's a good little thing if you want to just go ahead and sign $1 million contract. And all your music be taken away, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you started something there. But I see that part, and a lot of people don't come from a lot of things. The people that make it big mainstream like that, and so I don't know. That's a tough one, man. That's a good question. Yeah. I think as long as you're doing something, I think it's solid. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think even when you were mentioning like the sync licensing side of things and stuff like that, I think it's really dope though, because a lot of artists nowadays are finding that as a good way to get their music out in other places where you may not have found success otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And I think that as we get more of like these indie movies and stuff like that too, right? Right? These indie movies, these independent shows, stuff like that. You have more the shift towards like, I would say more of like the hip hop and rap scene and stuff like that. Even for basic stuff like commercials, you know what I'm saying? You see it now. You see it on YouTube and all this stuff all the time. Like now you actually hear like a hip hop instrumental or something like that behind like something, so like the more as we kind of shift down that path, I think it might allow more artists to kind of stay within that type of sound. Like what movie the other day I was watching like the Black Bonnie and Clyde movie that came out. I listened to that movie soundtrack.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that music is like definitely not like mainstream music. I feel like if you listen to a lot of the songs on there, but like I definitely resonate with them. You know what I'm saying? And so I think like even something like that in terms of like your music, if you find maybe the right movie, you know what I'm saying, that might be there in front of you, that could be like the perfect opportunity. But I mean, even like what would you say? Even like would you say movies like Euphoria? I mean, TV shows like Euphoria and stuff like that. I haven't really like watched them too much, but do you feel like they use a mainstream type of sound behind them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like some of the movies definitely look for the independent artist, to kind of bring their sound on. Now there are like Bel Air is a dope joint. I'm listening. So I was listening to some of the songs they had in there, and it's like, okay, a lot of them are mainstream. Some of them, they got a few independent artist joints on there. And I think, I don't know. I think with the bigger scale movies, they're probably looking for mainstream.
Yeah,
but
I see that.
Like you mentioned,
blockbusters, of course.
But my buddy, shout out to Dwayne. He is a like a director, writer for movies, and he definitely pitches a lot of independent artists, and so he does a lot of the smaller movies. He did one recently, or he's done a few, I think, with the cat that played Biggie Smalls in the original remake a couple years ago. So he does a lot of the independent film joints. So he works with him.
That's what's up.
And they were looking for artists, for example. to have their songs in that joint. So, I mean, I don't know. One of my songs was in a super small film. Shout out to Justice as well for the Jobless film. It's like a short story joint.
Okay,
and he put Hell and High Water in there. And yeah, I mean, I can see. Yeah, like you mentioned, like I can start to see, I think, some of the bigger shows kind of using it.
Start shifting towards
that.
Yeah,
start shifting to the independent artists because they're like, oh, this is good quality too.
Yeah.
It sounds like mainstream something, but it's just as enough quality from us.
Yes.
As an artist perspective, we know we're getting the track outs for tracks. We know that we're getting high quality sounds.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The vocals are compressed correctly. You know what I'm saying? Everything sounds good. So we're making that quality. And they have to start recognizing it now.
I think that was a big problem before as well. Is that you had like the like you said, the differentiation of like audio quality and stuff like that, right? Because you have like the labels are automatically going to push you to these studios that have this level of output, right? And a certain sound. And then as an independent artist, like really, you could be recording on anything.
It does not matter at all.
Facts, bro. USB mic, gotta throw it back. Like,
so like at the end of the day, I feel like it's almost like, I guess like that understanding of like. Now I think that also comes along with the technology side of things too, right? Because like as technology has advanced, things have gotten cheaper. We can get better sound out of cheaper stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we could literally just take a small little USB audio interface and a microphone. And if you know what you're doing in terms of like where you're recording and all the mixing and stuff like that, you can get a really good sounding product out of that. So like I think nowadays for like independent artists, I guess we can kind of trust the sound a little bit more than we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day when you said like SoundCloud, you said, well, you already know it's gonna sound terrible. You know what I'm saying? But like now you can go on SoundCloud, and some of these artists actually sound pretty solid.
Quality.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the song might not be good, but the quality is
yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Content of the music may not be the greatest.
Shout out to the SoundCloud artists. My fault.
But no, that's so true though. That's so true. I think that's a point to like recognize as well, because I didn't realize that after a while. But no, that's very true. I think like over time now, like there's things that are so much more accessible than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I think that's definitely helped like artists go down that path now. Is like, hey, not only can I make music that content wise sounds good, because that's another problem before. It would be like the content was good, but it just sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? Still can't do anything with that. You know what I'm saying? Now we got both the pieces kind of put together for people. So I think that's really dope. I think that's really dope.
Huge. That's huge.
All right, let me pull out another one, man. Let me pull out another one.
Facts.
What about the genre of music that you're in right now, like, made you go down that path? Like, what made you want to, like, kind of, like, go down that? Because I feel like it's definitely, like, a specific sound. Definitely, like, a little bit more, not necessarily niche, but more, like, down a specific lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got, like, a warm sound. Like, I don't know. I'm really into, like boom bap is the original. Like, that's the foundation. And I think
I can see that.
I don't know, man. I think what is it, lo-fi or lo-fi? How do you say it?
I think it's lo-fi.
Lo-fi. I don't heard Cat say lo-fi before. I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it, bro. But lo-fi,
I couldn't go around saying that.
Like, bro, you know how lo-fi is like moods or whatnot?
Yeah.
Like, I'm down with that. I really haven't thought about why until right now. Like, I think moods are huge. When you're listening to music, it has such an influence on you, on your mood. You can literally be down in the day and listen to a song that picks you up, you know.
Yeah, no, that's bringing you back to life.
That's so
man, so not that, you know, I'm like a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but I like to have a dichotomy, like a contrast with lo-fi, and then have positivity when I'm speaking or what I'm talking about. To kind of mix those things. And I don't know, it's kind of weird.
I can kind of see that. I can see that. Like,
and so like I'll do most of my stuff that I've written recently hasn't necessarily been my sound. I keep holding off on like projects that I have that I know are my sound. And it's just like, man, what am I, gonna get to it? But I think like what we talked about, a lot of the influence of what's going on now, what people are putting out.
It's
like people, blowing up off of TikTok, joints.
Crazy.
It's like,
too,
if you got a mediocre song, but you can put it on TikTok and you get it, a
Fire
dance,
Force or something,
you know what I'm saying? You get somebody to dance behind that joint, or you can, cut up the TikTok correctly. Like, you can push that joint pretty far. And I don't know. I think it's
it's kind of just been like a thing.
Just kind of trying to testing it out and testing the waters. With my sound. So I think one thing for an artist to get to a good point though is to find your vocal sound or vocal tone.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think I found that part. Now it's just matching, you know, my passions with what I want to put out. So
no, I think that's like you said, like finding your sound. I think that's one of the things that a lot of artists struggle with for sure. And I think that's probably one of like the biggest differentiating like factors between like artists that you can tell like have. It almost comes across as confidence. You know what I'm saying? And like
factuals.
Because I remember I think I watched an interview with Jack Harlow. Like I love watching like artist interviews and stuff like that, kind of get like an idea of where their mind is at. But he was like, one of the things that he did earlier on that like kind of kept him going was like he found how he wanted to talk every single time. You know what I'm saying? And like every time he hopped on the beat, he just had that.
Had it ready to go.
And once you have that, I think it's almost like a rap. You know what I'm saying?
Over, bro.
Because then it's
like,
ready
you can
to
pretty
go.
much get on anything.
So
like I ain't gonna lie, like I found my vocal tone, so like I can rap. I find myself being able to rap on anything
now,
beat. Like it don't matter. Like it could be something that I don't necessarily like, and that was something I wanted to work on. When I first started rapping, I was like, dang, like I sound the same on everything.
Yes.
When I first started, if y'all go back, my name used to be Elevate Direction.
I think I saw that one day. I was like,
I spelled that joint crazy, bro. Like that joint Elevate was spelled like Eli because my middle name, like Elisha.
We're never going to do this.
And then Direction was spelled D-I-E-R. Bro, it was weird, bro. Like, but when I used to rap, you know, with that name, like I noticed I was yelling on every track. Like I was literally screaming on every track, and it's like, bro,
what was I doing? What was
I remember like the exact moment. It was in like 2016. I was battling. I'm like, bro, I can't keep yelling on these tracks. I got to do something different. And so I learned about vocal tone and stuff like that. And then I think when I released Depart and Hella High Water and Black Butterfly, like I felt like my tone was like found. I was like, oh, this is, you know, this is me. So yeah, that's huge. I know we kind of went off the question, but that's huge.
No, that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up. No, I think that's a really cool thing, and I think that like for a lot of artists, it just takes time. It takes time to find that, you know.
Yeah, it took me 4 or 5 years.
But once you find it, you know,
it took
what I'm
me
saying?
4 or 5 years.
You're always constantly refining, you know.
And with that, you mentioned that, it just brought me something to my attention. Like with me, like it takes time to find it, but then you don't want to become like hesitant in putting stuff out. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm at that point where it's like, okay, I found my sound. Do I like just
go at it,
forsake all and just be like, you know, give people super good quality stuff and then not make the impact that I wanted to make, or do I like wait at the perfect time or whatever when I have everything in a row, you know, marketing, promotion, you know what I'm saying, like all that stuff. And so that's where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the sound. I know I can get on any beat, you know, or instrumental or you know, whatever. Like I can do that, but like, what does it look like to release that? Yeah, because you're also releasing something that's going to be out there for a while. Yeah, and then you want to, you know, at least be. It is my hope that most artists release things, and it's something that they want it to release.
True. Yeah,
but I know that a lot of artists do feel pigeonholed, and they have to just release something. Yeah, and that's where you get, you know, I say names, but it's like I know Roddy Ricch got some super crazy talent, but I think like his last joint that he put out, it's like, man, with it, you could tell like he wanted to do so much more with it. But again, when it goes to labels and like things like that, like I think
a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on artists, and then it goes.
Shout out to Roddy Ricch. I ain't dissing nobody. You know, we're consumers, bro.
I feel like once you hit like a certain level in your artistry career, like you go from like being in the studio with your friends and your homies and having fun and making tracks, and then you go to that next step of, you know what, I'm gonna take this serious and get my stuff mixed and mastered. Next thing you know, like you catch some traction on a song, and next thing you know, these big labels are coming from you, and now no longer it's not just for fun, and you got to be able to switch your mindset. I feel like to realize like, okay, like my passion and my love is now my full-time career.
No, that's facts.
So then, like how you're saying, I feel like a lot of artists do get caught up, and a lot of artists I feel like fall into. I know from like the EDM standpoint, and like the artists that I'm around, and like myself and everything, like you get to a point where you're like, man, if I want to take time to work on each and every single song and make sure I'm putting out the like best quality, and not only like just good quality, but something that represents me and something that I love and I'm happy about. But a lot of people nowadays, and because I feel like with social media, they fall into the category of like, I'm gonna start losing people and followers and fans if I don't put something out. Like, because I feel like everyone is
not wrong. That's the problem.
That's the thing.
It's finding that balance of like working at fast, consistent pace to put out good quality work every single time.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's also that whole other factor of like, I feel that same way too. I'm like, if I don't put out a mix or if I don't like get a new release going or a remix going, I'm gonna start losing some fans.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's a bad mindset to have because at the end of the day, there is more than enough for everyone to get in this industry. Instead of everyone stepping on each other, there's way more than enough to go through, you know?
And I was gonna say there's two things. Like one part is on the aspect of, like you said, like knowing when to release what stuff, right? And like, and this is the thing, like I always believe. I believe that, you know, we're in a day and age now where I feel like back in the day, if you drop something, like there's a possibility that if you drop this, it might just gain that traction for you, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much
content.
There's so much content. There's so much music that's out there. Like there's like, you just dropping your song is not enough anymore.
Not anymore.
For you to expect that it's just naturally going to gain traction and stuff like that, right? Like, it has to catch algorithms. It has to be put in front of the right people. It has to be all these other things for you to actually kind of get that. So, like, there's a part of it where I say, yeah, you know, make sure if you're going to release it right. Release it with a budget behind it. Release it with, like, you know what I'm saying, some help that's going to either be through social media, through Spotify playlists, and through, like I said, like sync licensing. Put it out in the different places that needs to go to, like, help you get that traction and get it out to the right people. But secondly, at the same time, music is always new to whoever hasn't heard before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if you do drop something and you push it 2 years later, you know what I'm saying? To whoever hasn't heard it, it's fire, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know myself, I'll listen to an artist off a playlist or something like that and go back to his stuff. Because like from his first project, you know what I'm saying? And I go start listening to some of his stuff. And like, and I'll be like, yo, this man's like super talented. Automatically start following this artist.
Artists, keep your stuff up. Stop taking your stuff down.
Just leave it.
You know what's fire? Keep the classics up on there, man. Like,
I know it's man, that's an easy thing to do for artists when you don't see it popping. Like taking stuff down. Like I can't tell you how many times I've thought about doing that, but same time, it's like people want to see that growth.
100%.
And they want to see that.
You want to look back on
it
too.
They might catch a flame from back in. You know what I'm saying? It might be some fire that you had that you thought was trash. You know what I'm saying, or whatnot.
And then catch traction like 2-3 years later.
Like you might have a song pop off. Everyone starts looking at your other stuff, and then they start sending that song. I can't tell you how many times like my friends will send me songs come out like 4 years ago off from one artist that like just started recently blow up. And then now that song has like more than the new stuff.
That's true too. That's true too. No, I completely agree with that.
There is no like set path in this industry. That's the one thing. There is none. And anyone who tells you, I feel like that there is one set path in music, especially nowadays, it's a lie in a way. There's so many different avenues nowadays.
I agree. I think the doors have been open to do a lot more, but it's like you just gotta figure out a way, almost a rhythm, you know what I'm saying, where like you know how you're gonna get it done and it gets to the right people and it kind of brings you that traction every time, you know. Like you said, like there's certain artists that are like Solomon and stuff like that. Like one artist that I followed, I really like a lot is Brent Fires. And I watched like his interview from when his manager started like working with him, and he's like, what I did was just start like, I released music, and wherever the music popped off the most throughout like the US or wherever it was, he started touring there. You know what I'm saying? And he started doing the shows and all sorts of stuff. And then as he did that, started allowing him to take that money and reinvest it back into himself and stuff like that. And then that's what kind of just allowed him to build that like connection with his fans and stuff like that, which I think is like super smart too, right? Because I feel like the connection that you get with an artist when you listen to the music is one thing. It can be really close, but when you see that artist in person, you know what I'm saying? It's completely different vibe. You know what I'm saying? We see them on stage and you can see their energy and you feel them and stuff like that. It's like, it's a different love for them. You know what I'm saying? And so him doing that so early in his career as well, I think it was like super strategic. You know what I'm saying? I think that's another reason as well where like Brent flew under the radar for so long, but like the fans that knew about him were like diehard fans.
Bro, I remember Brent when he was doing Christian songs, bro. Back in the day, bro. He came from the Christian side. Yeah, that was like a while ago. And it was funny because Christian hip hop was like big on well, they were big on creating their own sound, but you could tell it was like being replicated from mainstream sound. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, if you're gonna do that, like you might as well just go mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
And so shout out to Brent though. I got a freestyle. I got a freestyle coming from off a dude beat with Drake.
One That's so okay. All right, though. I look forward to it, man.
I gotta get on that, bro. I gotta get on that, bro.
I feel like those are guys like you guys know who Lecrae is?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Lecrae like stayed true to himself.
Facts.
Like he like in some of his stuff, I feel like in the mid I don't know, like 2016, 2015, he started to drift a little bit, but he's always stayed true to himself and his style and everything like that. So like guys like that, especially in that genre and that like scene, he stayed true to it. So it's like how you're saying, there's always that temptation of like, oh man, like getting that mainstream sound.
Yeah.
But like it takes a bigger person and a bigger artist to like really sit down and be deep in your own thoughts and your own mind and be like, no, like I'm sticking to this. Like peer pressure is a crazy thing, man.
No, 100%.
Especially when it comes to like your career and your love and your passion, and you want to get from A to B as not only as quickly, but like as efficient. That's the one thing, because at the end of the day, we're all looking for longevity in the industry.
Yeah, man. I think Lecrae has done that really well. It's funny. He's a pioneer as well of Christian hip hop, and it's for me, like that was a huge influence. I think I did a lot of my screaming and yelling during, like when I first found out about him, and I'm like, like he got all these hype songs and whatnot. But he stayed true to his faith, and he found a way, which was actually a conversation into like mainstream production. Like Lecrae laid the foundation for Christian artists, Christian hip hop artists when it came to production. He kind of gave us the check mark. Yeah. Like, oh, we can get a beat by T Watt or by like, you know what I'm saying? Like by you know, Hitman or whoever, bro. Like we can get beats by these cats. You know what I'm saying? Even though we were so used to this one sound here.
True.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so so yeah, I mean, shout out to him and just kind of laying that pathway. So
yeah, that's what's up. I was I have another question that kind of relates even to like the production side of things. Like, do you guys think that like that has also changed as like independent artistry has like grown in terms of like the production flexibility, like more producers working with different artists and stuff like that? You know, like what's your guys' opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the sound for independent artists is definitely, we're at a very high point right now where I think in the past there was a lot of replicating, but now you hear different sounds and synths and like different stuff, like cats, that those that are independent. You're hearing the, for example, like orchestra sounds. Like I think a lot of some of Saba's stuff is kind of like it sounds like orchestra, where it's like all glued together. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it can be a theme to a movie. You know what I'm saying, or something like that from start to finish. But you see, and this is something interesting I thought about, a lot of like the newer mainstream sounds, the Drake, the 2 Chainz, the sounds. Some of the YG does it really good. Some of the sounds, they're like these unique sounds that you don't hear. It could be like a high pitch something. You know what I'm saying? It could be like a creak in the background. Like it's just these different things that you can play with, and I think the mainstream knows how to do that. They know how to get access to those things quicker. But it's like now independent artists are getting access to those types of things. You see a lot of people that are producers selling their beat packages. You know what I'm saying? Selling their drum kits, selling all this other stuff. So everything's available now. It's like I can have the same sound as Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? I can recreate, something that sounds like me, but really it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds Top Dog-ish, like, bro, like I'm about to do that, So it's like.
And I think that was definitely a part that was missing. Like the production aspect of things, you know what I'm saying? I think that artists didn't have the ability to like, to automatically have that sound. And I think that's where, like I always say, like it's almost, you don't have to create what sounds like what's mainstream. You have to be able to create the same appeal that comes from that. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be the sonic quality, whether it be the type of like instrumentation, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to pull those elements. You know what I'm saying? So when someone listens to your song, they don't feel like automatically because I'm listening to like this. There's no way this guy's not. You know what I'm saying? He can't be a Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got to be a smaller guy from somewhere. So you don't want to have that type of comparison. When you want to listen to one of these artists, you want to be able to like say, hey, at the end of the day, I can see this dude on the Billboard. You know what I'm saying? I can see him on the Billboard 100 or something like that. I could see this being like a mainstream song or something like that. Why doesn't this guy have more followers? You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of want to make that comparison. I feel like
absolutely. I think.
I think an artist that did that well was Russ. I don't know if y'all listen to Russ.
I love Russ.
For sure. I ain't gonna lie, like Russ. Like he, every time I go to look up his profile, like it challenges me so much. I'm like, bro, this man will put out like 20 songs.
Yeah, every week. I swear, there's a new song.
In between the time that I put out a song, my last song, it's like, bro, like I gotta, get after it. But I realized that everybody can't do that. He's found his sound. He's found, the quality too, and then he also invested really wisely in what he did, and so. Yeah, research what he did. You know what I'm saying? I could get a T out right now. But it's just, bro, when I heard what he was doing, I was like, yo, that's super smart. So
wasn't it like a song a day type of thing?
Song a day, bro. And he kind of like
blew up.
Yeah, he invested, in himself, man. Yeah. And just like you would buy, something with a huge loan, bro, and like a home loan or something like that. Like, I think he talks about it, but
he has his own interview stuff like where
he talked about it like just buying or getting, a loan. And then investing into his music career. So that's quality videos that you're putting out, marketing, recording quality, all that stuff, and being able to do that at a consistent rate. I mean, and then at some point now we see, it's paying him back. And it's just like, bro, that's super smart. So
I agree.
But yeah, man.
I have another question that almost ties off like the independent side of things. Like, what do you think is like because that aspect of like investing into yourself, right? That's like a huge problem or a huge like struggle that I feel like a lot of people have, because at the end of the day, right, you have to eventually make that decision of, am I investing into this as a hobby? Am I investing into this as like a full career? Is this something I really want to do? Is this something I can compare or look at the same way as if it's a job, as if it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that a lot of people who go into the music side of things either get, I would say it's almost like they're scared to do that. You know what I'm saying, right?
Facts.
Because like everyone always tells you, there's no way you're gonna make a carear out of it. There's no way you're gonna make a living off of music, right?
It's possible.
So, what would you say is like one of the main struggles of like transitioning into like that as like a full career, like making something truly out of that?
I don't think it's so I would say like comfortability.
Yes.
I was going to say like I don't think it's not believing in yourself, but I think an artist that wants to go full time probably in the back of their head knows that they can do it, but they don't know how. Like, what does that look like in application? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how does it really play out? Am I going to really be able to feed myself, my family, if I do that? You know what I'm saying?
True.
I would rather do something safe and comfortable, as opposed to do something like that and risk X, Y, Z. Risk everything. But I think, I don't know, man. It's there's something to be said about that. You mentioned confidence. There's something to be said about that. I think when you're an independent artist or when you're an artist, period, do you, are you going to bank everything on yourself or not?
And I think that,
are you willing to do that?
And I think that when you look at that, that's just like, right? Like, I almost see the music industry for independent artists as just like a regular business. You know what I'm saying, right? Because it's like the same idea. You got to take this money, you got to invest into this. Are you gonna go out of your way to make sure that this is like your full-time job? Like, when you got to grind harder than like anybody else, are you gonna take the time? You know what I'm saying? This is an everyday type of basis. Like, there's a lot of artists out there where I say like, are you getting up every day and writing songs? Are you getting up every day and practicing this? Are you out there learning new information? Because as a business owner, right, that's what you do
every
you know
day.
What I'm saying? Like when you're trying to like go against the grain in terms of, like you said, comfortability, in terms of like what's the simple way to do things, right? You have to do more than what the average person. You can't take this position of like, I'm just gonna hope. You know what I'm saying? And if it takes off, then I'll drop everything else. Well, that's not how that works. Usually you got to make the upfront investment. That's the risk.
That's the easy part, though.
Yeah.
That part, then you're like, once it blows up. That keeps a lot of artists stagnant, man. Keeps a lot of artists stagnant. And for me, like, that's something that I'm dealing with now. I was telling Keon that like earlier, like that's something I'm dealing with now, like trying to, what does my output look like? Really. Because, honestly, I can put out, 1,000 songs or whatnot, and then they not make any traction. Or at some point, they make a little bit of traction as opposed to if I just kind of invest in myself fully, what does that look like? So
I mean, I think it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for artists, because you also got to think about this too, right? Like, it's one thing as an artist when you have the capital to do so, and I think that's where like a lot of times where like record labels and like these deals always come into play, right? Because like, as much as we've now made things simpler to like create music, there's that other aspect now, like we discussed earlier, where like you have to still invest on the other half of it, right? It's not just making the music, it's about how you get it out there, and how you get it out there always comes at a cost.
Facts.
Right? So like, at the end of the day, okay, I want to invest in myself. Where am I going to get the money to invest in myself to create that? So it's almost this thing of it's always this thing of like I got to work almost 2 jobs to make one of these things possible. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's so many things nowadays though that kind of give that flexibility for artists to do it. Like take for example like social media ads.
Yeah.
You can do a campaign for $30 for 5 days for your artist account to put it in front of new people who've never heard of you, gain some. Hey, those are 10 new fans that you never had before.
That's true too.
You know, but people will spend $30 for Uber Eats.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
yo,
Like, bro, 30 in the club.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
On one
it.
drink.
You know what I'm saying?
like
yo,
people,
it's crazy. Yo, I literally think about that stuff all the time because, like, you know, as we do like ads as a business, right? We'll do like Google AdWords, we'll do like Facebook ads and all sort of stuff. And I'll think about it sometimes. I'll be like, yo, like I could go spend like I always think about this, like especially like with like kicks and stuff like that, right? You go spend $150, $200 on a nice pair of kicks, right? $200 and some ads,
Bro.
You can do a lot with $200.
Hit up Plato's Closet. Hit up Plato's Closet, bro, and then do you some ads on the
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always say, I'm like, yo,
Bro.
as an artist, man, like I'll see some of these artists I work with. I'm like, hey, man, look, if you really trying to make this thing happen, I promise you, those new J's that you want to go pick up, you know what I'm saying? You just spent $200 or $250.
The
and they say you got no money now.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro.
Oh, yeah. And I don't have any money to invest into this. I'm like, yo, I know I just saw you. You didn't have these last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, taking that money, you know what I'm saying, put it somewhere else. You might have been able to start move down that path that you said you want to move down.
It comes down to that whole mental space of like, how bad do you really want it?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
a lot
it's
of
like
that too is budgeting too. Like
that's true.
Cats don't learn about money. I mean, if we, being honest, a lot of the hip hop community, at least for me, it's black folks, and black folks don't usually aren't taught. I think from foundation, you know what I'm saying, like money. Stuff, and it's a lot of that, and that's why you see, I think, and that's a whole deeper conversation.
Of course,
shout out to UW Whitewater. I got my degree in sociology. You know what I'm saying? So we're taking a different step into, you know what I'm saying? No, but on some real stuff, like I think that goes into it too, like learning how to budget for that. You know what I'm saying? Budgeting money, which we didn't have too much access to, until recently, within the last century. So yeah.
And I think that as an artist, I think one of the biggest things that probably would allow a lot more of them to not necessarily to say like succeed, but have more of a rhythm of how they do things. If they budgeted a certain amount from their paycheck every single month, say, I'm going to use this towards music. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
make it happen.
Yeah, whether it be going to the studio and recording these songs, whether it be mixing and mastering these songs, whether it be their promotion and release, whether it may be I allocate this amount. Whether it be a photo shoot, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, or music video, I'm going to allocate this certain amount of money every single month, and I'm going to put that aside. And if I got to cut out this new pair of J's, if I got to cut out going out to eat a few times, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. It's like you said, budgeting 101, right? Like, when you got your bills and stuff like that, you got to budget out your paycheck, right? Facts. So, like, if you just add that into your budget every single month, you know that you can allocate this to this one thing, and at the end of the day, if you keep pushing it, it's
gonna happen.
Yeah, something's
like
gonna
you
happen.
can, even if like a month comes where you're short and everything, and you got to cut back on it. It's like if you can't put $100 into like your ads and everything, still $30 or $20 will take you a long way. Like you just got to keep it going. I feel like that's where a lot of people, and like even like in my side, so like a lot of DJs as well, like just want to keep like, but it's clout chasing too. Clout chasing too, like that. But I would tell people, I'm like, I'll like have like a month where I need to cut back on my budgeting. But I'll still get new fan base, and I'm still getting DMs from people who in Sacramento, like the other day, who want to book me out, and I'm like, tell your promoters to book me, and I'll come play.
For sure.
You know, but like I wouldn't have had that even if I just keep the little bit of money circulating on my ads for like my music. It really does go a long way. It really does.
No, that's huge.
No, I think that I definitely think that a lot of independent artists, if they saw things more of like in a business manner, it would probably help a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Kind of better understand
This
how
is the music business.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're coming in as like this entity. You know what I'm saying? Into the industry.
Shout out to Rocky like ENT, I believe, on Instagram. I just started following dude, but he he got this thing where he be like artists, and he'll tell them something about what they should be doing or whatnot. And it's like, yo, I think the other day he was saying like, as an artist, you are a business. Like, if you don't look at it like that, then you're gonna be, you're gonna be in a world of hurt, man. You're gonna be struggling, trying to, move forward or whatnot, because people see you and see an image. Unfortunately, and especially with social media now, like, we take word as bond. Social media is like word is bond nowadays. Like, that's that's full fledged. Even though when you meet a person in person, you're like, oh, you actually different than your social media.
Yeah.
Like we see social media now, we judging people off the social media. Like we're taking everything we see, everything you post, you know, and we're moving forward with that as far as our thoughts towards you. So I feel like, you know, that's huge. Yeah, man. Yeah,
everyone's a brand nowadays.
That's huge,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
everyone's a brand. You gotta.
If you don't know your identity as a business, as an artist, it can be tough, man. Yeah.
As a business, imagine like building a business with no brand or a brand identity that you can align to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough to follow that.
Yeah, man.
All right, I got something different for you, man. So, what has been the most memorable moment for you, whether it's been in the studio or performing on stage, like so far in your career? What's something that you always have like a positive outlook on, man?
Memorable moment. I mean, I kind of side toward, I guess, the amount of quality that I can put into videos. The videos I've put out, the last two, Hella High Water and Depart, like those two, I kind of put, and I think that they're not even like it's super high quality, I think, for me, but I think that there's more to it. I would say I have kind of some, you know, some heart to heart when it comes to that and putting that out. Like I think that's good and huge for me. Another thing I think that was huge was I participated in this this legacy rap conference, like competition, back in 2015 when I was just getting my bearings in rap. Okay. I was still yelling on the tracks and stuff like that. And I had the track I performed, I was like yelling and screaming, but it really helped. There were a lot of influential Christian hip hop artists that were there, and they were judging the competition or whatever. Shout out to Jackie Hill and Jackie Hill Perry and Preston Perry and them. They were there. Rapzilla was there, kind of heading everything, and then who else? Jason, I believe, Odd Thomas, Natalie Lauren, like a lot of those folks were there, and it was cool to be in that sector to see like everything from the inside out. And so I think that seeing that business from that perspective, it definitely made me think about my artistry. But like with everything, you can't just kind of think on stuff. You gotta like apply it. And I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to push myself to apply those things. But I would say those two. There's probably some other stuff that I can't think of right now. There's a show we did in Chicago a couple years ago. That was dope. Just kind of the feel and the vibe of it. Yeah, man. Like, it's been definitely been a journey. So
that's really dope. Your Depart video, like I like that video a lot. Like when I saw that one that dropped, I was watching. I was like, this is like, because I was telling them, because I put on the TV and everything. I was like, hey, y'all gotta watch this. I gotta see what this man Dom really been doing it, man. And I watch it, but I'm like, this is the type of videos where, like, you know, it has more meaning than what just initial, you know, glances. Or in the other aspect is like, this is a video that you can see. It's more than just creating a visual behind a song. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's when I see like the calibers of artists or artistry where it like starts to differentiate. You know what I'm saying? And I respect, like I said, I think that takes a different level of talent to not only just like be able to express yourself on the audio aspect of things, but to be able to like recreate something or even something more deeper meaning through a visual aspect of things. So I think that was like a really dope like execution, man. Like I saw that, I was like, yo, this is impressive.
Shout out to Jacob Rink, man. Jacob Rink, that's that guy.
Where'd you shoot that one?
Shot that in Milwaukee.
Okay,
so most of my videos, all of them have been shot in Milwaukee.
Okay, so you go back home.
Yeah, usually I'm comfortable there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still, you know, getting my bearings out here. I think, you know, connecting with y'all and like different folks around the area. I'm thinking about Mito Studios. Like shout out to David. Over there doing his thing, and just connecting with people here, I think is huge for me. So
I feel that. So I guess another thing I got for you. So we'll talk about the Depart. Is Depart about a real person?
Yeah, man. So Depart is actually a song, not necessarily about a real person. So I like to let the art kind of speak for itself, but also too, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm very transparent. Y'all will learn this, you know what I'm saying, as you kind of follow me. But I would say that I wrote Depart. I wrote it in 2017 or so, maybe even 2016 or so. But it was more so during a time where you talked about Lecrae, kind of like going through things and we could see it publicly as far as being a Christian. So me, you know, as a believer in Yeshua, the Messiah, like there's a lot that comes with, I think, being a Christian artist and then being in the spotlight, or being like a gospel artist and being in the spotlight. And there's like these connotations and, you know, not to get too, you know, overly religious about, you know, it, but there's like a lot of things that we relate the Christian lifestyle to, I think, your actions and stuff like that, right? And so if publicly a Christian is struggling with something, it's going to probably blow up a little more than if, you know, a person that doesn't identify, you know, as a Christian.
True.
So
True.
With that, so that's the kind of caveat, I guess the foundation of it. The part was written about those that I saw walking away from the faith. So the idea of apostasy is where you've kind of like, Paul talked about it, one of the apostles in the Bible, but he talked about like being, you know, having tasted and being and seen, you know, the goodness of God, and then walking away from it, right? And so it was really about that, and it was a little bit of a, I guess, an indicator of what was going on at that time. So when I wrote it, you know, it was a different time than when I released a video or whatnot. And so, yeah, it was just kind of like you saw a lot of, I think, Christian artists taking that step back. And some of them were taking a step back because of some of the terrible things, I think, that were happening behind the scenes with the Christian business, so to say, with artistry, because there were a lot of things where it's like, yo, this is supposed to be the church, man. Y'all taking, you know what I'm saying, cash money. And this ain't me new. This ain't new me saying this. Right. This is information that's out there anyway. But it's more so like we had built, you know, that camaraderie, I think, from the, I would say 2000s to like mid 2016s, where it was like Christian hip hop, like we together. This is almost like church. This is the body. But then there was a lot of business stuff that went into it, and then that's where you saw a lot of like the, I mean, mega churches kind of came around, I think, in 2000s. You know what I'm saying? In late 2016s, it kind of blew up. Like it's a big thing, right? Not that it's bad or anything. It's just like it's a business, bro. At the end of the day, right? And so the part was kind of written. It was like, man, how you gonna leave? How you gonna depart from us? When it was like for those that, you know, said that, you know, they were in the faith and believers or whatnot, and they not necessarily walked away and went mainstream. I'm not talking about that. More so like, you know what I'm saying, I'm dropping Jesus, bro. Like I'm good on, you know, the Messiah. Like for me, it was just kind of like Paul talked about that. So I wanted to share something about it. And then, it was, it was something I think that was from the heart. And that was like, when you're talking about my vocal tone and like my comfortability, like, bro, I had never been that comfortable, you know, doing something like that. Actually, I think I did write that right after my son was born. 20, I thought I said 2017, but I think it was 2018 I wrote that. I think he was born like, and then he was here for like maybe a couple days, 2 weeks or so, and I was writing that. So, but yeah, bro, it was
Okay, dope. No, appreciate the insight, man.
Facts. But I'm gonna let y'all interpret it though.
But I'm saying,
somebody on the ground asked me, they was like, bro, why you put the head, the lion head up in there or whatever? And I was like, bro, I was just for like comedic relief and like just kind of being creative and like getting people's attention. But but yeah, the song was, and I tried to play off of it, I think, with the stuff that we did in the video. So but yeah, and kind of talking to it was weird because I was like, I want to create it where it's like I'm talking to me. So that people don't feel offended about it. You know what I'm saying? And so from my heart with the song, that was like, okay, I need to put that in there. Like
that's
I'm
smart. That's
you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, if you got to tell somebody like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? You need to get in the gym, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you got to talk about you too. Like, like, bro, I've been slacking lately too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to motivate you. Right?
Yeah.
So
I feel it. Okay, that's smart. That's smart. Though. That's smart, though, man. That's really smart.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, that's dope, man. Listen to the department. I might have a deep dive into it a little bit more now. You know,
pulling analytics on it.
You know, facts.
Well, to go along with that too, like, what would you say is like your kind of like your writing process as an artist? You know, because I remember we did like Freestyle Friday. I was like, this man spin, spin going stupid.
Yeah, Freestyle Friday. So that the first joint I did, I think I had written that probably a week before, maybe or so. Yeah. But a part of it, some of it, I think I had written before. Like sometimes I'll recycle rhymes, and I feel like every hip hop artist probably has some heat just kind of sitting around for certain times. Yeah. For y'all that really rap, like, bro, get your Sway in the morning and all them like get those verses ready. You know what I'm saying? Like it can happen.
Yes.
You know, like Sway be sometimes he'll just put out an invite, like, yeah, send your music in or whatever, and then he'll bring you on a show and it's random and then you blow it. But like, you know, get that stuff ready. So sometimes, you know, I think it's like that. So with that one, I had some stuff written already. This last one, dude, bro, I wrote that like, I think that was one of my first joints I wrote.
Oh wow!
Like years ago, bro. And it was a story. It's supposed to be like a, excuse me, like a story where it's like you're telling it from a vantage point of like a little kid listening to certain types of music, and this is the music he was listening to, and so it's like, you know what I'm saying, you listen to music with all this stuff, and then at some point it like kind of influences him as he gets older, and so it's you know, I don't want to give it out now, but I mean I guess I can't, but Little Donnie Part 1, and then it'll kind of go on. But yeah, so yeah, man, I think for me right now, the writing process, I find specific things that I'll write to, and I'll keep it. Like I'll take a mainstream beat maybe, and even write a verse and kind of let it sit somewhere, and won't use it until I think I need to use it. I'm starting to get into what a lot of mainstream artists do and what they have to do, which is, I don't know, you're writing something, like you just have verses sitting, and like have them available for whatever purpose or reason. I don't even listen necessarily. I mean, if Dirk is on, like you know what I'm saying, like if he's on, like you know, it'll be on, but like I don't necessarily listen to him. But he mentioned on his joint with Wallow and them, his interview, he was just saying like, yeah, like I got Drake features, like me and Drake got like 6 songs sitting, and I'm like, bro, like you wouldn't know that though, you know, unless you know what I'm saying, you was around that crew, or you saw, you know, saw the joint. But like that idea, just talking to the idea of having things sitting and he said like, I know this is a bag, I'm not about to just release it for no reason. Like I know when I release it, it's gonna have some traction. So I'm you know, because they were asking him about what's the joint Dirk did where he had Drake did when we had Dirk on there or whatever. No.
I forgot the name.
What's that? Whatever that joint.
It's pretty awesome.
Good. Yeah. Is it?
You talking about? That's actually one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, bro. I can't. Bro, with songs I can't remember. I can't remember names of the songs. But
that's literally one of my favorites.
I want to say it's not Good Life or something like that.
No, hold up, bro. I literally love that song, bro.
But yeah, off that joint. So he was saying like, yeah, I think
in the Bible.
Maybe is it that one?
Lil Durk?
No, not that one. It's a different one, bro. It's like one of the more mainstream ones.
Oh, so like something that he dropped like.
Yeah,
like
it's from Drake. So Drake featuring Durk. It's
was that with demo tapes?
No, it's the mainstream joint. See, I'm terrible.
When it comes down to
terrible names with that.
I think as artists, like
you saw Laugh Now, Cry Later. Yeah.
There we go. I'm like, bro, it's a mainstream joint. Like it's everywhere. But yeah, off that joint. So he was saying like when he got that joint, he was saying he was out there or something like that, just hanging out or whatever, and then it kind of connected. But then they ended up working on like other songs.
True.
And I think my point is like more so. Like with my writing style, like I want to be able to have things that are like ready to go for like when I hear a beat that I can't deny.
Yes.
Like I need to have that joint ready. So if I hear a beat like that or like an instrument like or something like somebody create something like that, I'll drop everything and immediately write a song or a verse or whatever to that, and I'll keep that. Like I have a bunch of those, bro. Yeah. And it's just like, for me, it's like, when do I release them though? Like I want to make it.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, because when I heard the most recent one that you did, that we worked on with you, is like, I was like, yo, this is like amazing. Yeah. Like and then you're sitting back, I wrote this like one of my first joints. I was like,
bro, so just imagine the stuff I wrote recently, like. Bro, that's from back in the day, and that was actually the tempo was supposed to be higher, like quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. Like I got so many joints that I was telling my brother the other day. Like I got joints that there's a joint that's unreleased that I need to release it soon. Yeah, when I'm talking about, and here's an issue too. Like stuff can be outdated. Like if you hold on to it too long, you know, like there's artists. Some artists can do that where they have stuff written from a while ago, and they don't release it until I think Kendrick, what's the green joint he had? That's one of my favorite projects, bro.
Yeah, his unreleased, I think.
Untitled,
Untitled,
bro. Most of that, he said some of that stuff he wrote in like 2011. He just hadn't got around to releasing it. Yeah, and it's just like, bro, that joint was fantastic, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know, bro. Maybe I don't know. You know.
I think that's a very common struggle with artists is like they create this stuff, but like, is this the right thing? You know,
know when to pull the trigger. That's the hardest part, because I mean, at the end of the day, like I know a lot of artists say they or not. I know honestly, a lot of artists don't really ever talk about their feelings behind like when they put stuff out. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, a lot of artists are very insecure from like the ones that I've heard talk about it, and like other artists that I've met with and everything. A lot of them are very insecure, but they're like, I gotta do it.
Facts.
Yep.
And I feel like no matter where you go, because you spend so much time, and like even though you might love it, it's that there's always that feeling of like knowing the possible rejection. Rejection is one of the biggest things for artists to get over, and like I feel like that's where you have to do a lot of soul searching for yourself that no one else can. You can even have some of the biggest labels in the world come tell you that stuff, but if you're not comfortable with it in your own self, like it's never going to be enough, you know?
Yeah, that's facts.
I think that what I find for artists is like, I feel like it doesn't hurt you if you just drop it. And I say that in this aspect, right? Because it's like sometimes I have like Caesar, like he's one of ours that we worked for a long time. Like we had songs that we recorded like he probably had like 2 or 3 albums low key, just like sitting up songs. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on the computer. And I'm like, honestly, bro, it kind of sucks because, like you said, either its relevancy isn't there anymore because the sound isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. And if people listen to it, they listen to it. If they didn't listen to it, then they didn't listen to it. And the thing is now too, right? Because like now he's getting to start doing some shows and stuff like that, right? Now you may not have enough media out there, you know what I'm saying? To like
people to go back to,
for people to listen to, because at the end of the day, we just talked about, right? If I go find this artist, I'm gonna start listening to some of the stuff that they've already dropped. You know what I'm saying? Whether it sounded perfect or not, I'm gonna go back and listen to this stuff. So if you don't have that stuff out there, it almost like, you know what I'm saying, almost pulls away. Like maybe he isn't as well developed as I thought. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe he's not doing as much as I thought he was doing. So maybe I may not take as much attention and put it towards him. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times I'll be like, hey man, like if you think it's a solid track, just drop it, bro. Just drop it. You know what I'm saying? Like put some money behind it, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like drop it on the right platforms, make sure it sounds good and stuff like that. But like do a little run here and there. And then another thing is too, like you could always push it later. You know what I'm saying? You could always promote it later. You know what I'm saying? So like you might start off with like a really small budget when you first come out with it, but you start releasing more music or you start pushing things a little bit more. You're like, all right, this one joint I dropped a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna put some more money back. I'm gonna start put some more money behind it because I think it's a good track or start to get some traction or something like that. So I just think like it can only do so much for you on a hard drive. You know what I'm saying? It can only do so much when it's just set up here. You know what I'm saying?
That's huge.
Yeah. So,
that's huge, bro. Somebody need to put that on their wall, man. It only do so much for you on the hard drive. That in the studio.
And I say the same thing with producers too. You know what I'm saying? Like just put it out there, man. Put it out there. People
just
will
send
listen.
it. Just send it. Like you have to be ready. I feel like just for producers too, like you got to be ready just like an artist. You know, like as soon as stuff gets ready going, like any opportunity and everything like that, just get ready to go. Like I saw Cruz, who's one of Meek Mill's producers, he was like, yo, he's like, send beats. I instantly hopped right onto Dropbox, took a bunch of my beats, made a folder like beats for Cruz, and just instantly sent it. I'm like, you never know who's gonna be there and who's gonna listen to your stuff. You just got to do it.
Facts, bro.
But like I was saying, it's still that like that security blanket of being like, oh, like are the people gonna like it? Like, but hey, screw it. You just got to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's facts.
I agree. All right, so I got another one for you, man. What excites you the most about like your career? Like, what's something that you're like really looking forward to, or something that you just enjoy right now? Like working.
I think for me, it's seeing where I know I can go, but I'm not necessarily there yet. So I feel like I feel like I got a high ceiling. I haven't scratched the surface, and it's not me being cocky or anything like that. It's just more so like kind of when you know what you're working with, you have to approach things a certain way. And so for me, I'm really interested in getting out here and doing shows and doing, being in front of people and stuff like that. I think a lot of those aspects, really living into the live part of my stage name, a lot of those aspects it's super easy just to kind of be a studio artist. I think, I don't know, like I think people have been, for example, doing, the Grammys or whatnot. I think the Grammys and like big shows really show you, even if an artist, is going to win a Grammy or whatnot, like the live aspect of it, of the artistry, you know what I'm saying? And I think that there's a reason, Beyonce can still sell out an arena, or like Jay-Z can still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, apart from the music being good, I think Jay-Z has a good sound. And it's like, it's unique to him, and then it's kind of carried his career. But there are artists that, you know, like Rihanna could do a show and sell out everything,
Easy.
but she ain't put no music out, bro. And
Would
like,
not matter,
bro. And she ain't put no music out probably in what 5, 10 years.
Yes.
It's been a minute, bro.
Yes.
And so it's like, man, I want to get to that point where I think I know, you know, the music is good, and like as long as I'm putting out quality, it's cool. But I'm excited to get in front of people. I missed the sign up for Culture Fest, kind of looking at it like too much and like over analyzing. I'm like, bro, I should have just signed up and, you know,
see what happened,
did the joint. But stuff like that, and getting out here, you know, doing a little more open, you know, public things, stuff like that with the music. So, and that's how you know, grow.
for sure. Yeah,
that's definitely how you grow. So someone could be not as talented, but be in people's face every day.
Yes.
And get way more traction than somebody that, you know, got the talent, and it's like they could probably, you know what I'm saying, one take Drake it in the studio every time, and like they just got it, but they don't want to put in that work. So that's really where I am right now. So.
Yeah, we always talk about that. Like it's more than just being in the studio.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You got to get in front of your fan base. You got to get in front
Facts.
of people. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make that
progression.
Yeah, make that progression.
Yeah, facts.
What are the what was it? Computer was just turned off in the middle of nowhere. Hold up. Now that's gonna have to get cut.
Facts.
I definitely didn't type that in right. Yep. That was my question. I can never type this.
Oh, shoot. Bro, the Steelers quarterback just died, bro.
What?
Dwayne Haskins.
Really?
Bro, he got hit by a car
Oh wow.
in South Florida. I think he just got traded. I think Haskins, he played for Ohio State, I feel like. A couple years ago.
The shit you hear.
That's
the shit you hear
tragic.
just happen like that.
Bro, he's 24, bro.
I'm about to say, I'm like, he died. I was like, it just can't be from natural causes. There's
Bro,
no
he's 24.
natural causes. Like,
Mercy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Peace to the brother, man.
Yeah, Ohio State, yeah. Yeah, man, but yeah.
What was my other question I was going to ask? I had a good one, too. Oh, yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. So, the other question I have for you, and I like asking artists all the time, is like, what defines success for you? You know what I'm saying? Because it could be
a good one, yeah.
Yeah, because it could be it could be like how many fans you got. It could be how many shows that you've been.
True.
It's Grammys. It could be awards. It could be just the content that you put out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what defines your success as an artist right now?
Influence. I don't think nothing else. I think my ability to influence people and their thoughts. I like to put into music or thought, or artistry, like some of the deep thoughts people having, you know what I'm saying, like thinking about certain things. Like everything I do, I think is there's like a purpose behind it. Like I could create a song just to kind of create a song and it not really have any like meaning or anything like that. It's just like you see it all the time. Like if you need a hype song or whatever, you just kind of create a hype song, you know what I'm saying? Or if you need a low key song, create a low key song, or soul, or whatever, rock song, you know what I'm saying? You need something like that, like you just create it. But I think for me, like I want to influence people with the music. I know that music is, you know what I'm saying, that's the number one like consumer thing.
Yes.
Apart from, you know what I'm saying, probably like buying clothes and shopping, music is consumed at a rate that is ridiculous.
Yes.
Like music, I feel like of things that just kind of go on 24 hours.
Yep.
Every day, music is one of them. Like there's
Yes.
always someone listening to music.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a lot of music, bro.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's a lot, bro.
You see like the Spotify recaps sometimes. And you see like, yo,
like,
how
bro,
long?
yeah.
How many minutes?
Like, bro, and that's just one person for that one artist or something
Yes.
like that. Like, bro. So I feel like music doesn't stop, you know what I'm saying? Shopping, I feel like, is one of them things it's close to. Like shopping.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody always shopping. But anyway, like I think music is huge. So I think it has an influence. And I want to put that in my music. Like I want to, be able to influence people. Maybe be a thought, that you had about something I said or whatever. I think that's success for me. I think that other things too come with it naturally. I mean, I think if you put out good quality, and people can recognize the quality of it, I think it'll kind of carry itself, and it'll become something, you know, as far as like what we would see it as, like an award or, you know, whatever, you know. So I think it can carry. Like other things come with it. Yeah. For me, but yeah. I mean, I could say success is like making it, you know what I'm saying, and signing, you know, a huge contract or whatnot. But I think for me, like I'm really interested in influencing people.
Is there a way for you to measure that, like quantitatively?
Not really, man. I think just people just kind of becoming a fan, man, and just you know, going along with the journey. Like some artists don't want to like blow up, you know what I'm saying, and like be crazy huge, right?
Yeah, it's really not necessary.
I think that the ones that do want to do that, there's a specific lane for that. If you want to do that, all power to you. Like if you want to become the overnight star and blow up, that's cool, but you're probably going to, you know, you're not going to have too much longevity with that. Right?
Yes.
I think influence goes a long way. Like if you're chasing, you know, a trend or like a moment, cool, you can definitely capitalize on that. But I think it's being smart with it too. Yeah. And like, what do you know, what is your end goal here? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are cool with that. It's just like, if, you know, you want to work a 9 to 5 your whole life and retire, you know what I'm saying, 60, 65. Yeah. You just did your normal joint. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody doing that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's coming back, right? Yeah.
And so it's just like with music too, like, like, and not that I would be, you know, necessarily stagnant in what I'm doing as far as influencing, but I think that the type of stuff I create, like it has the ability to impact people on a large global scale. Yeah. So I think I don't talk about it often, but I think success for me is influencing people. And I think in doing that, like it could be on a large scale. Like I don't have any doubts about that part. You know what I'm saying? But I think I don't necessarily articulate too much like it has to be X, Y, Z. Like I need to be driving this car. I need to be able to have this much money. You know what I'm saying? Like no, bro. I think it'll, you know, if it happens, it happens when it happens. You know. So.
That's what's up. All right. Yeah, I agree. So I guess it goes along with the influential side of things. Like, what do you want people to remember in terms of your music? Like, say like Dead and Gone. What do you want people to like remember from Don J?
Facts. I mean, I think you know what I'm saying, the way I put things together, like like I'd be intentional about, you know, the words I say. And I think just kind of the style. People hear my music and they be like, bro, like you dope, bro, but you like I don't know who you sound like. You know why? Because it's like you wanna like the world wants you to sound like something or look like something that they can identify with. Yes. For me, I understand that it's probably a little harder to get fans, or the fans that kind of stay with me longevity. Like it's some that's just like, yo, I'm with you, do it through, you know, or whatever. But it's some that's like new, like, oh, let me try him out a little bit. Like, okay, like, oh, you know, maybe I like this, but maybe not. Like, but I think that for me, at least you'll know I was unique. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Like at the end of the day, like, nobody rap like I would try to, you know, like I've heard all the comparing, like, you know, we'll try to rap like this person or whatnot, but that's not unique to me necessarily. Yeah. And not to say that I don't study the game. Yeah. One thing too, as well, about music is like it's influential. I think Cole said it on the end of Forest Hill Drive at the end. He was talking like, you know, people like on that long outro he had, like people, you know what I'm saying? People trying to, you know what I'm saying, hold the music back so we can't use it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be used. Like if you put it out there, let the world use it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, factuals, bro. So you're gonna hear some type of influence probably, or unless I articulate it in a podcast or in an interview or something like that. Like you may or may not be able to see it in the music, but I want people to know that I'm unique in how I say it, how I do it, what I choose, or whatnot. One thing, my guy Emmanuel, shout out to E-Man, my guy E-Man. My wife hate when I call him E-Man. They're like, bro, he a grown man. I call him E-Man. I'm like, bro, that's my guy, E-Man, bro, Emmanuel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, back in Milwaukee. But he was like, yeah, bro, like when I listen to your music or whatever, I like it sounds like a, you know, cadence of a drum or something like that. Like you're on, you know, cadence with instruments, and that's what I like about it. And I ain't never heard nobody say that about nobody else. And so it's just like, for me, I'm like, okay, I definitely heard people speak on it as far as like an artist and like how you should try to learn to present your artistry and stuff like that. Like you should, you know, try to put your stanzas here, you know what I'm saying? And like put, 4 bars together. If you're going to use this method of writing, then do this or whatever. But as far as like him saying that, I was just like, okay, that's something that stuck with me even now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I think about that when I write. Yeah. And like, how do I keep that uniqueness? So I would say to the grave, like Don was unique. Like,
yeah.
So no, that's real. I mean, I feel that's a kind of a part of paving your own way, right? It's like creating that specific path that you feel like is you and only you. Yeah. So that's what's up.
Facts.
And going along with the aspect of like you understanding the game and taking the time to like analyze how these other artists out there do it. Is just some specific guys that you would want to work with right now that are in this industry?
Yeah, I've thought about. It's weird. The people I listen to are probably the people I want to work with. And I think that's the opposite of some artists. Like I think a lot of people, they listen to music just for like consumerism or whatnot. But a lot of the stuff I listen to, it's like, yo, like I would love to work with that person. I think there's this young cat out of I want to say Cali. I'm gonna work with him soon. Shout out to Elijah. He spell his name EL XJH, I believe. Okay. So he's everywhere. He just dropped a little tape. That joint was fire, but he has this different sound. He's a vocalist, super dope. Of course, I would love to work with Saba. I would love to work with Mick Jenkins, and I think Mick Jenkins got a different vibe when it comes to like hooks and like flows, and certain stuff like that. Like, definitely makes me step my pen game up. And I think it's just so natural. And when you listen to him, it's like, yo, like he's not that prototypical rapper. Like his voice is a little deeper. So it's weird. It kind of throws you off a little bit. Yeah. And it's like, yo. Plus I met Dog, or he passed me one time. He was in the studio. He was in Chicago. Dog like 6'6", bro. Like
I know that man was that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. So I mean he talk about it sometimes on the joints. But like like him, and then I think who else? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I met this new artist, spacing on her name, Rennie Sherelle or something like that. But a lot of like the artists that I aspire to work with are independent artists. Yeah. I can't really see myself with a lot of the mainstream sound as far as working with artists, but a lot of the underground, independent artists that I think are dope, I would love to work with. So.
Is it because of the mesh between like the sounds that you guys have, or in terms of just like the path that they're on?
That's a good question. I think the path as far as them being independent and doing it that way, and getting that notification. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they can still do this high quality. Because I mean, honestly, like, bro, you can be an independent artist and put out a lot of music. I think for me, the most forward-facing one has been Saba, because just like the last 7 years or so, like the way he puts out music and then he's able to tour with it, and he's able to do that completely independent. Now I think he's growing to a place where it's like, okay, he got on Cole's joint, like he's been some places now and he can see different things. It's probably like he's like, okay, what does that look like as far as taking that next step, Grammys, and like, you know what I'm saying, like what does that look like? And I think there is a balance with that. Like you do have to have some type of little bit of influence when it comes to being an independent artist. Like you have to have that Chance appeal, where it's like Chance got a Grammy off a mixtape, and it's like that's never been done before. But he did have a bunch of mainstream folks on the joint to kind of help push that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like at the same time you got to do that. But I like what Saba does, because it's just like he stays true to his sound or whatever. And so I don't know, bro. I mean, I think a little bit mix of both. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So what's up?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think too. I feel like we've hit so many like good avenues.
Yeah, no, I mean you definitely hit some good points, man.
Well, one thing I got for you, Don, is like my question to you is like, because I know you're saying you come from like a poetry background and everything. Yeah. I wanted to see like kind of pick your brain on like how you do that nowadays. Like when you go to write, are you just going to lyric write, or do you still find that time to separate to do like poetry like still on the side?
Yeah, no cap. I still do poetry, so I work with shout out to my church, the Discovery Church. They do a lot of like different artistry stuff. And recently, something new, way new to them, way new to you know, what people do at church and non-traditionally. I was doing some spoken word for them, and so poetry was written and displayed on that level. And so I find myself not like sometimes I'll have to rewire my brain. Like I'll have to write poetry in order to get to a verse in a rap song that I needed, right?
Okay.
Because some of the stuff is like, you know, it's the influence that you want to have on a verse or whatever. Like it can be poetic in nature. And I think that's what draws a lot of people to certain sounds.
True, that's very
especially
true.
for like that hip hop, you know what I'm saying, traditional, like Kendrick was a poet, bro. Like I feel like J. Cole probably, you know what I'm saying, like gets a lot from poetry. Like I think being a poet, Jackie Hill Perry, I don't know if y'all have heard her stuff, but you can tell like she started as a what do they call it? Like it's like a flash like poetry or an artist or like a flash spoken word, which is kind of like out there. She started as one of those artists, but you can tell the transition to her when she gets on wax. Like it's like she flows. It's like, bro, like I'm pretty sure Biggie wrote poetry, bro. Like I ain't even finna hold
I
you.
believe that.
You know what I'm saying? Like it might not be, you know, public. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, bro, like the way his isms and like, you know, how he carries on joints, even Nas, like I know there has to been some influence there. And if it was influence from battle rap, it's kind of the same, you know, setup. I think actually battle rap is a little newer, like early 2000s. But yeah, it's kind of like the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. So yeah, I would say that those are huge influences. I think that poetry is still something I do. I think poetry won't leave me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's something that kind of stays
Always
with you.
Always be there.
You know, and spoken word definitely in poetry helps me write my raps that I have today. So yeah. But I mean, if I'm feeling poetic, sometimes I, you know, go outside and write, you know, or whatever. But yeah.
Good to hear, man. Appreciate you guys sharing that.
For sure.
So I got a last couple for you, man.
Yeah.
And I think these are some things that some artists could actually just like learn from, just like your perspective and kind of take away from this, and just like viewers as a whole as well.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you love about this industry, and one thing that you dislike about it?
Yeah. I think I love being able to express yourself. It's an avenue that, you know, cats that have been, their lives have been saved by, you know, them being able to artistically get into a place where they can just be free and kind of express themselves. Yeah. I think, I don't know, I think that's ministry. It's, you know, the Lord is in that somehow, you know, where it's kind of like pulling you out of places and tapping, you know, allowing you to tap into a creative space. Yeah. I think that one thing that maybe I kind of dislike or not too fond of, I would say, I don't know. I feel like it's weird. I feel like clout chasing is something that has been around for years. Like as of recent, we've been able to see it publicly on media. You know, you know what I'm saying? Social media.
Call it out a little bit.
But like, clout chasing, like, you know, Flavor Flav, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's been in hip hop for a while, bro. Flav is old school, bro.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Back in the day, bro, before we was born, bro.
Yeah,
Flavor Flav, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying nothing bad about it or anything like that, but it's just like,
I would consider that close.
It's like, okay, you know, it's got your thing. So I would maybe say that. Like, I don't like that you can probably have some sort of talent or whatever, and it kind of taken away or like misconstrued and like changed, and then later on you have to try to find your identity again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Or like you got to try to get that money back that you lost because you kind of signed that deal that you was like, oh man, like I don't like that part about it. I think also too in the industry, if we're being real, the death of rappers, bro, and how they be dying, bro, sometimes. Yeah. Like I don't like that part of it either, because it's like, okay, this is something we've clearly made it. One, I think it's a sin or a heart issue, but two, I think we've made it a thing where it's like we want to capitalize on this type of people or this sound or whatever, and we want to make it mainstream and we want it to sell, and we don't care who goes down with it. Which just, you know what I'm saying, long as it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't care if it's Pooh Shiesty, if it's XXX, you know, it's Tension, bro. We don't care if it's whoever, bro. Like whoever. You gonna go down with it. I mean, not Pooh. I mean, well, yeah, even in that aspect when it comes to cats being incarcerated, you know, whether, you know, it's them. whoever, bro. Like, yeah, Young Dolph,
Mac died.
Yeah, bro. Like,
OD.
Yeah, Juice WRLD, like a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Like Juice, bro. Oh my gosh. Like I didn't even follow Juice like that. Yeah. But I saw an interview before he died of him freestyling. I was like, dog, this dude got talent, bro.
Yeah, he was really good.
Like crazy. And it's sad, you know, like that mindset of you know, having to be, you know, with the drugs and like, you know, violence and stuff like that. Like I think that pigeonholes, and I think that it's not cool to capitalize on that, even though it sells and even though it makes $1. And my challenge, I think, for hip hop, or like, I speak to hip hop because I'm, you know, kind of in it and kind of connoisseur of it. But like, my challenge is more so reaching back to, you know what I'm saying, like offering, you know, I don't know, protection, or like offering, you know, some type of, you know, like, I don't know if them executives is going to, I know back in the day, some of them executives used to go to, you know, Scott Storch used to pull up on people in their hoods and like, you know what I'm saying, talk to them and like, you know, bring them on and stuff. I'm pretty sure, you know, Dre and them and Snoop Dogg and them, all them, you know what I'm saying, remember, you know what I'm saying, Scott Storch coming to meet them where they were, but a lot of executives ain't doing that.
That's true.
Stuff, you know, nowadays. Like, that's not like something that's huge, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's as far as like them being behind it. And you look at the people that are behind, you know, all the major labels, and it's like, but y'all ain't got nothing to do with this lifestyle at all. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what sucks about it too, is like, you have these guys, like you said, like they see them as this business investment. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys that we're working with, and of course at the end of the day, like the business is always important, right? But I think sometimes what's lost in translation is like, you know, like we're still people. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you genuinely care about this person's well-being in addition to what you guys work on? You know what I'm saying? I think
having them look at it as another dollar sign in their back pocket.
Facts.
And I think that takes away from like you said, like that almost that safety net that's kind of there for these artists. Like I feel like especially these big labels and groups and stuff like that work with these artists. Let's say like specifically for Mac or something like that. Like when I look at Mac Miller, like he's one of those artists I wish I could have saw like in person or could have met. Like those was one of those guys where like I was growing up, I was like, I want to meet Mac Miller one day. Man. He's just one of them dudes, you know? And like when I look at it, I'm like, how did Mac even get into a situation where like he doesn't have the right people in his circle to like stop him from going down this path, or to like truly be in his corner when he needs
him from like, all the bad stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this dude's still super young guy, you know. So I'm just like, it just, you know what I'm saying? It just seems wild to me. And then you also look at some of these guys, like I said, like Juice, especially like X and stuff like that. You see them like start to grow and start to develop so much as an artist.
It's like, well, you ain't got nobody around you though.
Yes,
you know what I'm
saying? Yes. And it's
like his label giving you all this money, but like,
and still ain't nobody there in your circle, really.
I mean, Cat's getting security now, but it's just like, even with that, you know, like it's sad, bro. To see it. Like with Nipsey, my pops talk about Nipsey, bro.
That too,
bro. My daddy is, you know what I'm saying, bro. What he 50, bro? In his 50s, to this day, bro. He be like, man, why they, you know what I'm saying? Like he randomly be like, man, my dog Nip, man, be playing double up in the car, bro. He pull up in the old school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You got 20 years on him, but like, it's the influence of people, you know what I'm saying, of hip hop and like how it carries along. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff Nip talked about, like, does reach that, you know, that set of folks that grew up in the 60s, 70s. Like, it, you know what I'm saying? And then for him to be taken like that, it's just like, bro.
It's crazy. It's literally like, crazy, man.
It's nuts. But then for there not to be necessarily, like, we don't even hear anything about it anymore. Like, as far as the person that did it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, dang, that's it, bro. And so for me, with hip hop, I just don't like, and also too, it does go to the content we put out or whatnot and what sells. But I think you back it and you give money, you pour money into it, and it sells, and then it kind of becomes a detriment to that, you know, artist or person or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, it's it's a weird thing, but I would say that that's probably something. I
definitely think, like, especially for artists that pass and stuff like that, maybe I feel like a part of it as well is like, you know, I think there's an aspect of like capitalizing off of them after they pass as well. You know what I'm saying? You get these like post humanist like albums and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
That come out, which is a little
Pop Smoke joint. You got the joint came out afterward.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, all right, this is just a little odd. I know everybody's trying to make their last checks, but it's like this is just almost like, you know what I'm saying? I feel these.
I mean, like Juice has had like 2 like post humorous like albums.
Really?
Yeah.
I think King Von had one too.
Yeah, and I'm like
afterward.
And Pop Smoke had one.
I feel like these guys could be remembered and like, you know what I'm saying, like put in a much better light in terms of like after, you know, these situations happen. Even though it shouldn't be happening in the first place, but I think that like when we look back, like let's say when we look at like Pac or something like that, we look at like Biggie or something like that, right? Like, we hold them to this like to this standard, we hold them up like this idolization. Like, you're not gonna forget these guys' names.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then like you said, like, how much do you hear about Nip anymore? How much do you really hear about Pop like that? How much do you really hear about X like that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, I may not have been on the scale of these guys, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's like, I mean, it goes to just come down to society being so fast paced nowadays.
Facts.
But it's like,
oh man, all right, a month later, like what's the new trend? Next thing,
it's
crazy.
That's
I think
true.
I mean, social media has an effect on that, and so that's that part of it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's sad, man. To see
tough.
sometimes.
No, it really is. It's crazy.
yeah.
Like the distance between somebody having died that was in the industry, and then when you look up, you're like, oh dang, it's only been a year. Like, it's like, bro,
It's like barely heard about this man.
yeah, like I don't even hear nothing. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
not like in regular, posts anymore. Not hearing about news, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like you take the music and stuff like that, and we enjoy it. And it's like, all right. On to the next
bye.
guy. You know what I'm saying? Part of that, I feel like, we have so much music coming out. It's easy to do that, right? But nah, it's tough. It's tough. Because I feel like for a lot of these guys, they dedicate so much to it. You know what I'm saying? And then when it happens, it's just like, damn.
It's wild.
Yeah. Another thing too. When did you decide to like take music seriously? Like, because I feel like everyone has that switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what made you make that switch?
When I released Depart and Hill High Water and Back in Black Butterfly, those are my first like 3 singles that I released that were like serious singles. I had some stuff before that I worked on. Like Cut Corners was supposed to be, it was weird. I worked that in like 2015, 2016. And that was about like, I don't even, to this day, like I leave it up because it's like, okay, this is where I came from.
Yep.
I think I recorded that, man, I want to say in somebody's crib somewhere. And it was just like, first starting out studio, we didn't have anything, like just a mic and an interface, and that was pretty much it. And so kept that up. But I think I started taking it serious when I realized, and I was with Rooted Society, which is like a collective of artists. Shout out to Kaylin and Tay Spears. A collective of artists where it was like we had this sound, and initially started out as like a Christian collective. And we had this sound, and we were trying to, get it out there or whatnot. We were doing live shows and stuff like that, and kind of getting our sound and being unique. All of us being unique. And I think that in it, we learned a lot about the music process. And it was around like 2018, 2019 that we realized, like, and I ended up leaving, I think in 2020 or 2021. But we realized, like, yo, like, there's a lot more to it. Like, I need to be able to, apart from having a distro kid log in and just getting on and releasing stuff, like, bro, am I with BMI or ASCAP? Am I, do I have an IEN number? I believe it is. Do I have my, my IP number for ASCAP? Like, do I have all those things in a row? Am I, getting all my royalties for everything?
Copyrighting your stuff,
copywriting,
protecting music,
like all of that stuff. And so there's so much that goes into it. Am I getting the contracts for exclusive rights to beats? And does it say, you know what I'm saying? Does it say, I can, do X, Y, Z? Can I do a video to it? If not, then I'm, that technically y'all can sue me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, there's a lot of those back end things that I think that I understand now, that why people have managers and like, people behind them and
to take care of all this stuff.
I'm looking at the Grammys the other day, and the Grammys is just, I know I mentioned a few times, it's just the most applicable thing that I think artists can see, because it's like way up here, and it's like a lot of us are still trying to get our bearings or whatever as independent artists. But bro, on one song for somebody that won, it was like 40 people names, and I was like, yo,
man.
And it's probably like I mentioned, people like people that probably walked in on a session that said what's up, and then like end up hearing the beat and then said one word, like, oh, you should put this in here, like one little word, and then it goes in there, and then you're automatic. But my point is more so like, it's like a lot of people in camps, and so for that one artist, there's a lot or one or two artists, there's a lot of people that went behind them and kind of did the or went before them and did the work. And so I think I don't know, just getting to that point, I think where I'm really taking it more serious was probably started in 2019 or so. And even now, like all of my moves are like calculated in a way where it's just like, okay, do I have this set up? Do I really want to release this? Well, like, am I going to be lazy with this release?
Yep.
And like, if so, I'm not probably going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I would say like 2018, 2019 or so.
Well, to all the independent artists out there, you know what I'm saying? Don said it well. There's so much stuff, you know what I'm saying, that you got to realize is done outside of just dropping your song on DistroKid.
Facts,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why, even as an independent artist, they have people to take care of certain things for them. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, like, you can't be a one-man band. You know what I'm saying?
You can only get so far.
Yeah. And you only have so much time in the day, right? So, like, people got to realize that if you really want to do things right, you got to have some people in your corner that know that they can help you take care of those things. You know what I'm saying? And probably know some more things that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So kind of fill in those gaps. So I think it's almost like that collective mind type situation. You know?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that's huge, man.
And I guess that's the last thing, man. And I kind of like this is like, what's next for Dom? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your main focus going forward right now? Where can we see you in the next 1 year, 5 years? What's the plan, man?
I think sync licensing, I definitely want to take that on. I think more live shows, probably do that. But I want it to be genuine because I think I've said these things before, and it's just like, what is the actual steps you're taking behind that stuff? Also, too, I need to put out. I got 2 albums that are sitting that I just need to put out. So that's that. My thing is, I want to couple stuff with videos. Like, I still want to shoot a video for Black Butterfly. Like, I wrote that so long ago. Yeah, like 4 years ago I released it. But it's just like I still want to do stuff. And so I don't know. Like, I'm kind of going around a question a little bit. I think
trying to play it out still.
Yeah, I think I'm still working through the kinks and stuff like that. But I want to be able to put something out that I like, that I got confidence in, you know what I'm saying? And also too, on the other hand, like, I wanna just kind of be able to go out and venture and just do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and not put all my eggs in one basket, because I tend to do that a lot with a lot of the music. And I think when you got your sound and, like, you know what's going on, but you don't necessarily have the resources behind it, it's frustrating sometimes. So,
yeah, I can understand that. That's what's up, man.
Well, yeah.
All right, man. We'll be on the lookout for it.
Factual.
Absolutely.
Factuals.
Yeah, just drop the link, whatever it may be. You post it on the gram, you know what I'm saying? We'll be
out
out there waiting
circulating.
for it,
We're waiting, man.
Especially if you dropping an album.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
I'll be streaming it.
Yeah, facts. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Appreciate it.